People who have invested in XRP are going to get a big reward for their trust. And I can't wait to talk about those reasons in this show. When we think back to 2021, it's clear that XRP did not have a boom like many other cryptocurrencies did. A big part of this was because it was against the law. However, I'm beginning to think that these legal problems are more of a trap, maybe meant to keep regular people like us from getting involved. Among the most interesting things about XRP is the purpose it was made to serve, especially when you think about the digital world we are moving toward. It looks like you've come to the right place to find out about the latest XRP news. One last thing I'd like to ask you before we talk about the great news for today. Please show us some love if you like what we've done. If you click the like button, sign up for our channel, and press the notification bell button, you can join our great group. Now for some good news, we're about to give away a lot of XRP as we're getting closer to having 60,000 members. The process of joining is very easy. There are only 3 steps to follow. Find out as soon as possible more about this. You should not miss this chance. Make sure that the word money side is in your thoughts and notes if you want to be in the drawing for the prize. We are all aware that digitalization will become more important in the coming years and that almost everything will change to a tokenized form. When you look at XRP's basic papers, like its white paper, you can see that its main goal is to make it easier to buy and sell things, not just money, in a world where tokenization is quickly spreading. When thinking about how XRP could be built to handle the trade of tokens and money based on assets, it's interesting to think about what could be done. The answer depends on how well it works. It is a lot easier to do things when they are tokenized, but on the other hand, it's possible that XRP will work with Stellar, which could be seen as XRP's less interesting sister to make moving money and digital assets easier. Let's look at how XRP affects liquidity to better understand why it might change the way money is sent. One example is that the current system needs twice as much money to make a move from one bank in Japan to another bank in the United States, from Japan to the United States possible. For this situation, XRP is very important. It could change the way things are done by making a lot of money available. They make foreign money transfers possible. I'm going to talk about how XRP might affect the foreign exchange market, FX market, and how liquid the market is this time. Imagine for a moment that a token like XRP released a lot of liquidity, which made it possible to make deals almost instantly. It's possible that this new idea could make a market work much better. A lot of banking institutions have teamed up with Ripple because of how fast it works. No matter what, it hasn't quite reached the point where it is used in places like hospitals. Allow me to show you an example to help you understand this. In order for the Bank of Mitsubishi in Tokyo to send 100 million yen to its office in New York and then change it into dollars, they would normally need the same amount of money in both currencies at both sites. This would cause $200 million, 0 cents to be held up. That being said, it would be a huge step forward if this exchange could be linked to a token like XRP. Ripple's possible decision to go public is another interesting development that should be thought about. It still needs to get permission from the SEC to make this choice. It's a big step forward that Ripple won the case where Judge Torres said it wasn't a security. This is a very important change. Even though it's not something we talk about very often on the show, I've been buying in XRP for a while now. I have had a hard time with XRP while we have been together. During the last bull market, I was able to get better returns on other assets, but the case made it hard for me to do that, slow down the growth of XRP. Also, I think it's interesting that the XRP community sometimes shows such strong emotion that it almost looks like a devotee group. I've been too excited about projects in the past, and XRP was the same way. One big reason I don't like taking risks is the thought that some of my fans may have invested money because of my excitement and then lost it. On the other hand, new technical analysis shows that XRP might be about to experience another rise like the one it had in 2017. Well, it looks like things are set up in a way that is similar to how they were before the 2017 surge. A lot has been said on the show about the Hunt volatility funnel method, which is also known as the HVF Francis Hunt's appearance as a guest has given us a lot of useful information. It's his opinion that the value of XRP will rise to $116.00, which is a big jump from where it is now, which is about $0.60. In the event that this prediction comes true, it could be a huge win for buyers. The movie we're shown today is meant to bring attention to what I see as a big chance with XRP. There is a strong reason to think that people who have invested in XRP will soon make a lot of money. This may sound like an old story, but it's true. In this case, the most important thing to think about is XRP's technical structure, which seems to be going in the same direction that led to its huge gain in 2017. In spite of the fact that XRP did not reach any new highs in 2021, this is a good sign for the cryptocurrency, putting together everything for a possible spike like the one that happened in 2017. As someone who owns XRP, I agree with Francis Hunt's optimistic forecasts. I've been looking at how he solves problems for a year now. It's hard to ignore the connections between the trends that happened before 2017 and the ones that are happening now. The fact that XRP could hit $16.00 is a strong sign that something important is about to happen. This could change because of a number of things, including the chance that Ripple will go public, or the fact that they just bought back their own stock, which shows they are sure of their plan. I believe that you should add XRP to your portfolio, especially since quick funding is so important in today's professional setting. Lots of people who own XRP have been very frustrated, and I want to recognize that. I also think the same thing. I do think, though, that the time we've been waiting for is almost over. The long-awaited run of XRP is about to start. This run could have a huge impact on both its value and its place in the cryptocurrency market. What I want to talk about is the idea that the Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, might have been trying to keep regular people from investing in XRP because they were told to by higher-ups in the company. It's crazy that more and more banks are working with Ripple, even though they were being sued not long ago. The fact that these banks refused to give up even when they were sued is proof of how strong and useful XRP is.